News Conference Extra with Conan Nolan.
Good morning and welcome to News Conference Extra, a special segment of Today in LA Weekend. After an extraordinary week, another extraordinary week ahead in Washington, D.C., Chuck Todd joins us, host of Meet the Press, which airs every Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. So, Chuck, the debate for the articles of impeachment on the floor of the U.S. House of Representatives for only the third time in the history of the Republic. What should we expect?
Oh, if you watched a bit of the Judiciary Committee markup, you had an idea of what to expect. I think it really will be more of a show of speeches that all of these folks will want to have history record for them someday, but I don't know if they'll have much of an impact. This now is a foregone conclusion. I think now we just know how many Democrats might not vote for impeachment. It will pass, but how many will they lose? Will any Republicans join? That's about the only drama. And we're talking one or two on either side, maybe 5 or 6 total on the Democratic side could flip on the other side. But that's about it. And the real focus now to me is not just the Senate, but really what I'm focusing the show for this Sunday is simply focusing on what happens in the aftermath of this. I mean, Mitch McConnell's already setting up a trial that sort of guarantees the outcome as well. No witnesses, opening statements, closing statements, maybe some questions from some senators, but no witnesses at all. And that's because the whole witness gambit that the president keeps pushing is designed to avoid witnesses, right? Because if somehow Democrats came up to an agreement on Hunter Biden, it would also mean Mike Pompeo and John Bolton and all these other people would be testifying, which then would make the trial a bit of an unknown. And that's something that Mitch McConnell and other Republicans don't want. So I think we know we're about to accelerate into that brick wall. But to me, it's what happens after that. Who gets blamed for the exhaustion? Who wins the post-impeachment argument? I think that's where we're headed next.
So it's a foregone conclusion that we won't have witnesses. I mean, there's been some speculation that the president says he wants a long trial. He wants he wants for this to last throughout the month.
It's about it's the last thing he wants. He's just trying. This is who he is, right? He always, he talks, he's done this with every trial he's ever been a part of. I can't wait to testify, and then he files a motion to delay. I can't wait to be deposed, and he files motions to wait 6, 7 years to actually get deposed. I mean, it's bluster. The fact of the matter is, in my reporting out of the White House counsel's office, their whole strategy is simply to avoid a lengthy Senate trial. Well, if they pursue their strategy of trying to get witnesses, that is not a strategy of a short trial. So this is a case where don't listen to what the president says. Watch what his counsel's office is doing.
You know, Tom McClintock, Republican of the Sacramento area on House Judiciary, made the statement during one of the markup that, listen, we've all heard these points over and over again from both sides, and he sort of speaks for the public. Yes, I can understand that the House managers will use the trial as an opportunity, as well as the vote for impeachment, to communicate to the country. The country has made up its mind on this. Have they not?
That's right. It has, and Conan and I have a conversation actually with a group of voters from Grand Rapids in Michigan. I happen to think Grand Rapids is among one of the swingiest areas now in the country, as it goes. I think so goes the presidency. And there was one thing that unified all the voters. They're exhausted from all of this. They're just exhausted. They know one of the participants said to us, it's like I'm watching a recorded football game where I already know the outcome. They've already processed this. This is why I say, why I'm focusing our conversation. Where does our politics go post-impeachment? Is it a president that acts vindicated? Do you have Republicans who were never fans of the president now find more distance from him after protecting him from this, right? I think there's a lot more unknowns post-trial right now than there is actually between now and the end of the trial.
I have to ask you a question regarding the debate coming up at Loyola Marymount University. There is a vote in the United Kingdom where centrist voters decided to go with the conservative candidate Boris Johnson because the Labor candidate was considered to be too far to the left. Does that message have any resonance to the Democratic field running to seek to replace Donald Trump?
Well, we're going to find out. I think it does. I certainly know a lot of A lot of Democrats not named Sanders and Warren believe it does. Bernie Sanders' campaign in particular, they wrap their arms around Jeremy Corbyn. So they certainly, I think that is a stickiness which I don't know how they get unstuck. It's Elizabeth Warren, I think, is in quite a little bit of a vice grip. You know, she's made the decision to hug Bernie more so than she did to the moderate side of things. And I'll be curious to see how she bobs and weaves, but I'm not convinced there'll be a debate this week. I think I think that you have a bunch of Democratic candidates that if that debate went away due to a labor dispute, which of course is a big deal right now, and it could happen, it couldn't happen, and you have a bunch of candidates say they won't cross picket lines, that smells to me like a bunch of candidates that kind of hopes a certain debate 6 days before Christmas goes away.
Who's on the program?
We'll be talking to a couple of senators on the aftermath of all of this, but also on some of the big economic issues of this week, including trade. So among my guests will be Republican Senator Pat Toomey, who is no fan of the president's trade policies.
Interesting. Chuck Todd, host of Meet the Press, Sunday morning at 8 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks, Conan.
On News Conference at 9 o'clock following Meet the Press, we will talk with the chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, Adam Schiff, the point person on impeachment for the Democrats in the House of Representatives, plus Congresswoman Karen Bass, who voted for the articles while a member of the House Judiciary Committee. Plus, we also talked to Herb Wesson, a member of the Los Angeles City Council, the president of the City Council, who is running for the LA County Board of Supervisors. That's News Conference at 9 o'clock following Meet the Press. We'll see you then.